Hello again everyone, and welcome to the final video of this course that we are going to configure the Cloud Linux operating system that we have installed together in the previous video. So let's open why git bash. We should open the browser, Firefox, or any other web browser that you like. Of course, there's no obligatory on that. And copy my root password, go to server 66.pdthemes.de and open my server. So the first difference that you're going to see is Cloud Linux instead of CentOS over here. So the next thing important is the load average, which is higher. As I told you, Cloud Linux by itself would make the load average more, which means that it takes more processes and it's going to make your CPU more busy than before. And also the memory is going to be used more. So let's go to service status and see that together. Service status. Here you can see the CPU average load is much higher than before. The RAM has been used the RAM is using right now is more than before, which is normal. As I told you, Cloud Linux would make your server a little bit more busier, but it would sometimes be very beneficial for busy Linux server administrators because they have lots of users and they can't handle the management and monitoring of all of those together on their hands. So they need a robot. Cloud Linux will act as a robot for you. Okay? So if I come downside to this part of plugins, you can see a new tab has been added to my sidebar, which I go to LVE manager. This is the logo of Cloud Linux. You can see that we're going to configure this operating system right now here on this user interface. Okay, so the first thing, it's going to give you a setup wizard and start the wizard. By suggestions of Cloud Linux starting wizard, you're going to take all of necessary actions for your Cloud Linux OS configurations. So I will install this. I will enable it for all of the users. This would be good, but it would again just limit a little bit more, and I don't like to install it right now. If you're going to provide Node.js hosting to your users, then you can enable this. For example, let me enable one version of my Node.js to show you how does it work, and then configure PHP. I think select all, no. Version 5.6, 7.2, and 7.3 are okay to install always. And I will enable the selector for users, and everything is okay. And this is a new item which I have never seen, but because it's telling me that I'm using moderate 2, I cannot use this, which is okay. And I always use these three: install KGFS, enable Node.js selector, and PHP selector. Finish and install, and it's going to take a little bit of time to install all of those. As you can see here on the notifications part, it's giving you the new news and announcements, and also here you can see that some of these selectors and features are installing right now. So let's just wait for about 3 to 5 minutes that it would be installed. Until then, I will pause this video, and I'll see you later when this installation has been finished completely. Alright? Just goodbye for now. So hello again, and as you can see, my LVE manager has completed the setup of Node.js selector, KGFS, and also PHP. There's something that you can see here: PHP related issues detected. So click manage to see what it's done. So here you can see there is a error which is telling you that your PHP handler doesn't support cloudlinux PHP selector, which means that we should change our PHP handler. For that, first of all, let's go to this link, which I have opened that for you already. The second link here, this one, the installation 5, which is some requirements of installing cloudlinux components. The component we are working now that it has a problem on our server, which is PHP selector, is here. So I'm clicking on the link of that. So here, the main requirements are KGF is installed, which is installed. As you can see, if I go to my sidebar, KGFS is now installed. I'm sorry. All the PHP packages are installed. They are all installed, don't worry. Mode suexec. This is not my PHP handler. So if you're going to use, if you're going to install it, just go here to see the instructions. As you can see, you can install it on cPanel with Easy Apache 4. I'm going to use the graphic interface. As you can see, we need to go to Easy Apache 4 here and click on Customize. So let's wait for it. Click on the Customize. Just wait for it until it loads. Customize. Then we need to go to Apache Modules. So here, as you can see, we can enable lots of Apache modules, which is mode underline su exec, right? So I'm going to say yes, so it will remove mode void 2, and that's okay. I'm going to say yes, then go to review part. As it says here, review part, everything is documented very well on cloudlinux website, and there is only one thing that you should configure, which is this one. Alright, so that's it. I'm gonna do provision. The provision will start and finish very soon. After everything has been done, you need to run this command on your SSH, which I'm going to connect to my SSH now, so when the provision has been finished, I can go ahead and run that command. I'll copy my password, open my git bash, connect to my server again, and give it my password, enter it, and I'm in my server. Here, as you can see, the provision may take a little bit longer than ever because you're changing the PHP handler, which is an important thing in the PHP configurations of your server. The PHP handlers are the algorithms of PHP on the algorithms how Apache will handle PHP requests, which there are lots of those and has different kinds of behavior with PHP requests. It's not really important to understand them because understanding them is not really easy. You need to have a very deep knowledge on that, and it's not really necessary for a server administrator right now. Okay. So done, and I will copy this command and go into my server SSH. I'm sorry. I will use this command to update all of my accounts on Cage FSCTL. After it has done, I can get back and see there shouldn't be any other problem on my server on my PHP selector. So let's wait for it to finish. Also, somebody may ask something from me. I really see that it may sound good for you. How I make this terminal a little bit blurry is when you install it, let me first tell you, on the options, in the background, I think terminal, the background, I think, yeah, the transparency is off when you first install it, which is like this. I don't like this, so I always put the medium transparency, so I like it more, so it would be more beautiful when you're working with it. It's a little bit better. So that's it. I log out of my server. You can see updating of the status of my users are successful, and I log out of my server and go back to my Cloud Linux LVE manager. And now if I see here, there shouldn't be any problem anymore. Let's wait for it until it has done. And you can see everything's completed. PHP is enabled. Ruby enabled. Everything's enabled. KJFS enabled, and everything's all right. There's another configuration which you can take is the users. As you can see all of the users with their usage. You can set the limit for them. For example, this is my user. I can set a limit for him. I can set the I/O limits, the memory, the CPU, for example, everything like that. So if I'm going to give it more CPU, then I should make it, for example, 200. Right now it's 1 core, okay? If I want to make it 2 cores, then I'm going to make it 200, then 300, alright? So that's it. And I can change the, for example, memory limit, CPU limit for it. For example, I will change this to 2 gigabytes. Okay, that's it. Also, you can manage here. You can filter your users over here. You can go to selector and enable. As you can see, the selector is enabled for everyone. If you want to just, for example, remove one of these PHP versions, you can just deselect them. And you can also, for example, change this version to 7.2 and configure the PHP default extensions which are enabled for each user. Okay, for example, Unicube Loader, which is an important thing, is already enabled. And there are lots of things that you can do also. For example, Source Guardian most of the times should be enabled. Okay, so I will enable it. And there's no need for you to configure this, because with the help of Cloud Linux, thanks to its features, every person who has a user on your server, if I go to cPanel, now there is a new feature which is Node.js and select PHP version. This is the, let me show you your LVE manager. This is the Node.js selector which helps your users to host Node.js applications on your server. Let me show you. Yeah, here it is. Node.js selector. Alright. Also, select PHP version lets every user to let it be online. Then I'm going to tell you more. Alright. First of all, you can see that the account is handled by cPanel default, Easy Apache, or the Cloud Linux. Here, for example, you can see my account is now using the default cPanel Easy Apache, which I'm going to change this to, what should I say? To, for example, the Cloud Linux, okay? I can change this to Cloud Linux, and for example, go to extensions, and for example, I will, how do I say? I will enable PDO DBLIB, for example, for it. And you can see I can change this. Right now it's handling by Cloud Linux. If I want to change it and handle it by Easy Apache 4, I can go into cPanel in Multi-PHP Manager. If I select this and use some EA, these are Easy Apache and alt are the versions of Cloud Linux. If I change this to Easy Apache EA, which is handling by cPanel's own default PHP management system, I apply this and go back to select PHP version on Cloud Linux PHP selector. You can see that it's now handled by Cloud Linux. So that's okay. I think that's because we have changed the PHP handler, and it's actually really normal that you can use Cloud Linux, that from now you should always be considering about Cloud Linux. okay? Because it's going to be better, but I think my cPanel needs a reboot. If you reboot to apply the software updates, that must work. If you just change the version on EA, Easy Apache, on your multi-PHP manager, it should be on multi-PHP manager, okay? Not cloudlinux. So that's alright. Everything's, I think, has been finished. We have configured our server completely. This might have been the most complete server configuration cPanel installation configuration course in the world right now. Maybe in the future there are lots of others, but right now there isn't much choices for you. But again, thanks for choosing this course. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope you have learned enough that you can start. Just an advice from your brother, me, is that starting your experience with servers first, it's going to be a little bit hard. But then, after a little bit of time, after you experience some of those issues and search for them, find the solutions and fix them, you're going to be a master of server administration. Trust me, start. Don't worry about anything. Do not fear of starting and experiencing new things. Alright? I hope to see you in my other courses. I hope I will try to make this course update as cPanel is changing in future, and I will try to update this forever. So again, if you have any problems, I'm here for you. You can send an email or send a message on Udemy, and I will be back for you very soon. So this might be a goodbye for now, but I hope to see you on other courses too.